I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV episode number 106. We are from Alter Ego Comics, a comic book store in Lima, Ohio, and every week we read a bunch of comics and then we report back to you our recommendations. And this week, my top pick is The End Days of Bram and Ben, number 2 from Image Comics. This is written by, James Asmus, Jim Festante, and artwork by Rem Brew. And if you go back in the archives, the video archives, about a month, you'll see that issue number 1 was also a staff pick. And this book is just laugh out loud funny. I literally laughed out loud 3 or 4 times while reading issue number 2. And I also laughed reading issue number 1. It's a very funny, very irreverent look at Christianity. So if you can handle that, and this is coming from a Catholic, I'm finding this very amusing. Go Pope. And I think Josh said it best last month when he described it as Kevin Smith writing a comic book about the rapture. The dialogue is very Kevin Smith-y, and the dialogue is one of the great things about the book. It just flows out of the characters effortlessly, and that sounds disgusting. The characters are very well rounded too. There are about a half dozen or so that we actually get to spend time with. We know their names, we kind of know their mannerisms, and part of that has to do with the artwork by Brew, not the guy from All New X-Men, but apparently this artist. It could be the Brood from X-Men. I don't know. But it's just such a perfect combination of great storytelling with dialogue and art. It is such a good book. It's a 4-issue miniseries. I highly recommend you seeking out issue number 1 and 2. We still have copies of issue number 1, but only a couple. And definitely check them out if you're looking to break away from the heavy drama that's going on at the big 2 right now. Treat yourself, kick back, relax, and have a few laughs with The End Days of Bram and Ben.
All right, and my first pick this week is Avengers Assemble number 12, written by Kelly Sue DeConnick with art by Pete Woods. We've told you repeatedly about Avengers Assemble. It's still a lot of fun. Actually, last week we had the annual, which was a different creative team not tied to it, so you can pick back up with the regular issues and be great. What I really enjoy about this book is that it's entirely character driven. I mean, it's all about little moments and jokes and stuff. I mean, the plot line of every issue of Avengers Assemble has been done 1,000 times. It's always these Avengers go and do something. This time around, the MacGuffin is a secret from Black Widow's past comes back to haunt her. How many people did she kill back in the day? Was it like every 5 minutes Black Widow killed 3 or 4 people? Because stuff has been coming out of her past to haunt her for like 40 years.
Did you notice the number on that marker was like 82 or 84?
Yeah.
So that should give you some indication of how many people she's killed.
She's killed so many people that she has a system in place to let her know when they need help.
Let me make this up to you.
Yes.
Here's a token.
Sorry about your mom. But this issue was really great. Like I said, the story's fairly pedestrian, but it does a great job of making us care about these characters. Basically, we've got Hawkeye and Black Widow going out to try and right some of her past wrongs, and because Hawkeye and Black Widow used to date, Jessica Drew, Hawkeye's current girlfriend, feels like maybe she should tag along too for fun. And there's a lot of great interplay, some love triangle stuff that's not really a love triangle, it's just ridiculous, humorous stuff. And I just felt like it was a great, fun book that, like Mark said, was not as heavy as a lot of the stuff going on. It's just a joy to read every month.
Next up for me is Uncanny X-Men number 1, written by Brian Michael Bendis with artwork by Chris Bachalo. And if you're reading All New X-Men by Bendis, you should pick this book up. This is kind of a no-brainer. It's the sister book to that series, and as editor Nick Lowe says in the back of the book, the 2 series will occasionally intermingle. So if you're enjoying All New X-Men, you absolutely want to pick up Uncanny X-Men number 1. And Bendis is crafting a mystery/thriller with this one, and I caution you not to flip to the last page while browsing. Many of you do that. It will be spoiled for you. Most of the series is trying to figure out who is doing something, or most of the issue, I'm sorry, and if you flip to the back, you will ruin the surprise. What else do I need to say about this? Bachalo really brought his A-game to this book. I have developed quite an appreciation for his artwork over the years, going from a couple story arcs in Amazing Spider-Man to working on Wolverine and the X-Men, and now Uncanny X-Men. And it's a unique style. Not everybody really digs it, but I think it works here, and it's a lot cleaner than I think the Wolverine and the X-Men stuff was. That's one of the things that jumped out at me about this. Another winner from Marvel now, Uncanny X-Men number 1. Pick it up.
We really love Marvel now.
Marvel now.
My next pick is Fantastic Four number 4, written by Matt Fraction with art by Mark Bagley. And this one, the FF, the core FF, the future family, and the 2 kids are still off on their exploration of sub-dimensions or realities, whatever. They're off having adventure. They come in contact with a new alien species, but really the meta story going on here is a love story between Franklin Richards and Sue Storm. You see flashbacks of when they first met. You see intercuts as what?
Did you say Franklin Richards and Sue Storm?
Yeah, that's a love story too. All right,
a mother-son love story.
Maybe Reed Richards. I'd watch that.
Into it? Start over.
Am I really starting over?
No. Reed Richards and
Sue Storm. It's
which
really,
produced Franklin Richards.
Which produced Franklin Richards. He's in there too. He gets scared at night because Daddy doesn't know something. But it's just very human, very interesting melodrama. It's actually not even melodrama. It's actually almost just kind of sweet, humorous love story, and it's really touching. Sorry, still getting back to the Franklin Richards thing. It's really good. Fantastic Four.
It's
fun.
really twisted.
It's not as twisted as we make it sound. That's all. Done.
All right. My final recommendation this week is Star Wars number 2, written by Brian Wood with artwork by Carlos Danda. This is from Dark Horse Comics, and I raved about the first issue when it came out, which has gone to a 3rd printing, by the way. It was that good that, or maybe people are just hoarding them for when the new Star Wars movies come out. And speaking of that, we've got the recent announcements of Disney making new Star Wars movies starting in 2015. J.J. Abrams is directing the first one, so Star Wars fever is at an all-time high, and I think well, not an all-time high. It's getting there. It's a low-grade fever. It's like 99. I think the fever will increase as we get closer to 2015, and we find out exactly who's been cast and all this other fun stuff. But in the meantime, a good cure for that fever would be the Star Wars series from Dark Horse. This adjective-less Star Wars series, and Dark Horse does about a dozen different Star Wars series. But if you're looking for original trilogy characters of Han and Leia and Luke and Chewie and Boba Fett and Mon Mothma, you should definitely check this one out. The characterizations, Wood is really nailing those, and the artwork by Carlos Danda, I really like it. It's a little cartoony, but I would rather have that than someone who is really trying to mimic the look of the actors. I think we're getting that a little bit, but because of the cartoony style, it's more serviceable to me. Anyway, it services me. Anyway, yeah. Star Wars, and I've said this before with the first issue, I have trouble reading Star Wars comics because I always picture the actors and I hear their voices in my head, even when I'm not reading Star Wars comics. And this really nailed it for me. And the first 2 issues are top-notch. I can't wait to see what happens next. And Dark Horse actually alluded to the possibility of the Star Wars license not leaving and going back to Marvel this week. So who knows? I'm sure we'll hear more in the weeks and months ahead, but this may be a series that continues for quite a while. And as long as it does, I'm there.
My last pick this week is Archer and Armstrong number 7, written by Mr. Fred Van Lente with art by Mr. Emanuela Lupacino. Miss?
You know that's a Mr.?
Is that a chick? I don't know.
I don't know.
Good work. Archer and Armstrong continues to be a fan favorite and a staff favorite here at Alter Ego. This issue especially I enjoyed because for the first time we're starting to see some interplay between the 2 immortal brothers. We get flashbacks as to how they've interacted in the past and where history has taken them because they've both been alive for thousands of years. And it still continues to be lots of fun. We finally get to find out a little bit about this geomancers. The whole plot is sort of revolved around protecting or assassinating these geomancers and protecting them against the Null and the 1% and basically Wall Street. And we actually get to see what's going on. The character that was introduced last issue, the female reporter type, is made very cool and interacts with the main character. So it's actually back to being kind of more in the vein of the previous issues, and still continues to make me giggle.
That was Giggle, right?
That was Giggle.
Okay.
Or Google, whatever.
That's it for this week. If you haven't done so already, head out to your local comic book shop and grab some of these books that we've talked about, or some other new comics that came out this week. Feel free to post what you like below, and also if you have any questions that we can answer for you. And if you like the show, please share it via social media. Share it with your friends, fellow comic lovers. We want to get our views up there. We've heard from many of you that you think we do one of the best review shows out there. We need more viewers, people. So please share it with your friends, neighbors, family, complete strangers, anybody that loves comics. And thank you for that, and we'll see you next week.